Hey, Wheat King fans, welcome back to another season of Branden Wheat Kings hockey. It is home opener week, presented by the Branden Sun. I'm Branden Crowe. He's Perry Bergson, our first edition, regular season edition of the Crow's Nest. Of course, you and I were chatting throughout camp, but now the home opener is here. And how excited are you to finally see some hockey back here inside Westover Place?
Oh, everybody's got to be excited. I covered the team from my couch while you were actually at the games. But don't forget, fans haven't seen a live game in, 18 months either. So there's got to be a lot of excitement in the whole community.
That being said, when you look at the roster, yes, these guys have been credited for a season of action, but some of the fans haven't seen them. And one of those guys I think they're going to be very pleasantly surprised by is Nate Danielson.
Nate seems like a really special player. I've heard scouts kind of compare him to Nolan Patrick, which is pretty incredible praise. He sees the puck so well. He's so good on his skates. He just reads everything around him so well. He's pretty slick, and he's a nice player to watch. Now,
depth-wise, this is a really deep hockey club right now. There's a lot of returning guys that have had a cup of coffee in the league. They go out and acquire Mason Ward, a 6'5" defenseman. They get Ben Thornton, a former first-round pick, 15th overall to Spokane. When you look up and down the roster, is there really a hole anywhere at this point, despite the fact there's a few guys away at NHL camps?
Not really. I think the big story for them this year is how do you deal with losing Braden Schneider? How do you deal with losing Ben McCartney? Those were two heart and soul, really talented guys they had last year.
You mentioned yesterday in our brief conversation at practice, sandpaper. That's kind of the word that they use in the junior hockey world. You know, you don't have Ty Thorpe, of course, sent off in a trade to Vancouver. You don't have Ben McCartney. You've got Ridley Gregg, who, of course, is maybe a little too much sandpaper, as we saw this week getting suspended by the National Hockey League. But who do you think steps in and plays that bit of an agitator and kind of provides a little bit of toughness?
Well, as Marcus Sekundiak and Reed Purpleluck are two of the other guys you have to mention in that. For tomorrow's paper, I interviewed 8 guys yesterday, and I asked them that very question. And to a man, they pretty much said, everybody's going to have to do a little bit more, but it's going to have to be by committee. You just don't have a Reed Purpleluck body on the team this year.
And speaking of guys at the NHL camps, big addition yesterday, Marcus Kelly. And Kelly arrives from Las Vegas. He had such bad luck here his first time regarding injuries and just not being able to stay healthy, but you saw him skate yesterday, and he looks ready to play.
Well, I think that you and I remember that first practice on the far end of the Keystone when he got here. He'd been out for 4 months, and then he comes to a Dave Lowry practice. And Dave worked those guys hard in practice. And that poor kid, I thought he was going to keel over during that practice. He gets out there yesterday, and it's a different player, wasn't it? Like, he looked completely different.
He did, and certainly a few guys away at NHL camps will be trickling back here over the next little while. You've got full coverage in a special edition of the Branden Sun tomorrow that'll be pushed out to all our season ticket holders and online as well. And then coverage again Friday and Saturday right through this weekend's games. You went down a bit of a rabbit hole, though, and fans are going to be able to go right back to 1967 to find out the attendance of the first ever home opener.
Well, it's classic Perry Bergson. I was going to just do the last 10 games. I ended up doing 51, 52, whatever it is now. Attendance, goal scorers in every game, scores, all that stuff. The thing about sports is you tend to worry about tomorrow's game or tonight's game, and the history gets lost, especially when that history is 5 decades old.
You can check out all of Perry Bergson's work tomorrow in a special edition of the Branden Sun. Friday's home opener, as always, a presentation of the Branden Sun. You can catch the game on the radio, Bell Media 96.1 Bounce, or in the building. Tickets are going fast. You're going to want to get them at the Keystone Center box office or online at keystonecenter.com/tickets.